All right. Welcome to another episode of the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast. Yes, I'm flying solo. Ed Smith is having the week off for undisclosed reasons, so I'll just leave it at that. Well, technical issues on his end. So it's just me today. It's just me this week. Lots to talk about. So why don't we get those out of the way? We've got some breaking news here. Yes, this just recently in. The Michigan State Spartans football team has officially fired head coach Mel Tucker. Before that, last Friday, Tucker and his lawyers were lying. He repeatedly made false statements to investigators, according to USA Today, and then his lawyers respond to MSU's attempt to fire him for the cause, saying, quote, Tucker did not engage in unprofessional or unethical behavior or moral turpitude by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, as discussed below, under Michigan law, assault and battery does not even constitute moral turpitude, and the flimsy foundation of the university's finding a private relationship involving mutual flirting and one instance of consensual phone sex falls far short of the mark, unquote. Well, two things. First of all, this is actually a different crime than battery and assault, and it's still warranted. Second of all, Tucker actually did fully engage in that unprofessional and unethical behavior and moral turpitude. Or not, or whatever it is. Even if it was not turpitude, it was still an inappropriate behavior. So Michigan State was intending to fire Mel Tucker for the cause as of yesterday, and now they were expected to fire him today, and they did. So, with that being said, the Michigan State Spartans fell flat in their 31-9 loss at home to the Maryland Terrapins. Noah Kim throws 2 interceptions and 1 touchdown. Caden Hauser also threw a pick. Spartans offense has only scored 1 touchdown in their last 2 games in Tucker's absence and firing altogether. Talia Tagovailoa for Maryland, 21 of 36 for 223 yards, 3 touchdowns and just 1 pick. Which the Spartans, I couldn't remember whether they capitalized or not, but still, MSU is now 2-2. Maryland, they're still undefeated. The Terrapins are. Michigan State goes to Iowa to take on the Hawkeyes, who are 3-1. Hawkeyes are favored by 13 points. Saturday at 7:30 on NBC. I don't know what to say. Iowa's clearly going to win and cover, to say the least. My prediction's 45-10. Michigan Wolverines, they beat the Rutgers Scarlet Knights 31-7. Almost the exact same score they beat Bowling Green 31-6 the week before. Mike Sainris still in that game against Rutgers with a pick 6. J.J. McCarthy didn't throw any interceptions. Let's see. Yeah, he cleaned up his act, did J.J. McCarthy. 15 of 21 for 214 passing yards and a touchdown. Blake Corum also 2 touchdowns on 21 carries for 97 rushing yards. And there's also been fans criticizing running back Donovan Edwards as of late and saying he's been slow. And they have a valid case. 6 rushes for only 13 rushing yards in that game against Rutgers. Yeah, that's an example of what proves that. So I'm not sure if Donovan Edwards is injured or anything like that, but he's got to pick it up. He's just got to get better somehow. He's not himself unlike last year. At least there's Khalil Mullings, 6 rushes for 40 yards as a backup running back behind Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards. So Michigan stays 4-0 and they stay at number 2. They head to Nebraska, their first road game of the 2023 regular season in NCAA football. Take out the kickoff against the Cornhuskers in Nebraska, Saturday at 3:30 on Fox. Michigan, 17-point favorite. Nebraska is 2-2. They do have a couple good weapons to the Cornhuskers. Heinrich Haarberg at quarterback, a 40.7 quarterback rating, 24-47, 278 passing yards thus far and 4 touchdowns, plus 42 carries for 272 rushing yards on quarterback keepers and 2 touchdown keepers. Yeah, Heinrich Haarberg is a two-way machine at quarterback. His favorite target thus far has been Billy Kemp IV, 13 catches for 132 and a score, 132 receiving yards. But the way Michigan's defense has been stepping up, they'll need Sainristil still to get a lot of reps coverage reps on Billy Kemp IV. Plus, the defensive front is going to have to try to stop the run, including Haarberg himself, once he tries to rush it. They'll have to bring the blitz and sniff everything out near the pocket. I think Michigan, the way that they've been playing in the first half compared to how they've been playing in the second half, I think Michigan will pull away in the second half like they've mostly done. I think they'll win and push again. I'm going to say 34-17. Wolverines. So there's my prediction there. The Detroit Lions had bounced back with a 20-6 win at Ford Field over the Atlanta Falcons. 7 sacks recorded by the defensive front. Aiden Hutchinson, 2 of those sacks total, including the forced fumble to seal the game with under 2 minutes at the 2-minute warning. Also, Jack Campbell made his first career NFL sack. The secondary defense, 3 passes defensed. That's the way they say it in football. Tracy Walker made a pass breakup. Jerry Jacobs, of all people, made a pass breakup, although he's been a liability. Even Tracy Walker has been playing more disciplined than Jerry Jacobs has. But yeah, Brian Branch, he's been my go-to secondary defender. He's been my go-to cornerback if I'm on the Lions. If I'm a Lions fan, they'll need Brian Branch to step up a lot every single game, including their game at Lambeau Field against the Green Bay Packers Thursday at 8:15. That's tomorrow on Amazon Prime Video. I'm willing to pay for it. Also on the NFL Plus mobile app. It's a little bit cheaper per month than Amazon Prime Video. Lions are only favored by 1.5 points. Yeah, minus 1.5. The quarterbacks Jared Goff and Jared Love are both equally good. They're evenly matched. So are the Lions and Packers defenses. It's all going to come down to who turns the ball over more. The turnover battle. The Lions have turned the ball over more times than the Packers have. Jordan Love only 1 interception. Jared Goff 1 interception against the Seahawks in the overtime loss, and then another one just recently this Sunday against the Falcons, the Lions still came up with a victory. They held the Falcons to just 6 points. The undefeated, the Falcons were 2-0 going into that one. By the way, the Lions are now 2-1. So are the Falcons. So back to the Packers game. The Packers in their previous game won 18-7, 18-17 over the New Orleans Saints, but the Packers didn't score any points until the fourth quarter, scoring all 18 of their points. New Orleans almost beat them by the hair of the chinny chin chin, but they missed a field goal attempt wide right. By the way, Jahmyr Gibbs, 17 carries for 80 yards. The Lions punted 6 times. Brian Branch, one more thing, 3 tackles for losses of yardage and 2 pass breakups. So the secondary, may I correct myself, 4 passes defensed, not 3, 4. So the injury reports for the Lions and Packers are as follows: Emmanuel Mosley, Taylor Decker, Vitae, and Montgomery, all questionable to play. David Montgomery has been itching to get back out there. He said the media was telling us a while ago that he was going to miss at least a couple weeks, that he could miss at least a couple weeks. But David Montgomery, I would say, according to, after all I've read, all I've discovered, all I've sensed, that he may at least play, if not start. The Packers injury report: Aaron Jones is among five players questionable to play. So we're going to keep an eye on him. Also, Jaden Reed, one of the dangerous weapons in the receiving department, 9 catches for 148 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. The Lions' secondary defense can't leave him wide open. They also have to start playing the ball and not the body. Jerry Jacobs, for example, keeps playing the body, unfortunately. So does Cam Sutton. But that's why we learn, and that's how the game is played by the rules. So you don't want to get penalized too many times for pass interference. As of yet, I don't want to recycle this yet, but I would say it's going to come down to a 1-point game. The Lions may win this, but the Packers will cover. The Lions, I'd say, win this 28-27. Man, it's going to be really edgy. And finally, the Tigers have hired recently Jeff Greenberg as their general manager. Previously, as assistant general manager for the NHL's Chicago Blackhawks. Before that, 11 seasons with the Chicago Cubs in Major League Baseball. So, Jeff Greenberg, he won a World Series with the Cubs in 2016. Broke the Billy Goat curse, remember that? Yeah, so Jeff Greenberg brings a little bit of World Series championship experience, along with Javier Baez, who won with the Cubs, won that World Series title with the Cubs in 2016. Mike on YouTube says, I wish Craig Monroe would get caught having phone sex or stealing belts again. Well, all I know is Craig Monroe is dumb in that Bally Sports Detroit broadcast booth, whether it's at home or on the road. Thank you very much. Hey, Mike, yeah, if you're already subscribed, good, but please spread the word. Get a lot of your friends and subscribers to subscribe, your followers to subscribe to the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast YouTube channel at the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast. So we'll never know what Jeff Greenberg's going to bring to the table for the Tigers. But, yeah, let's go over what we learned. So, yeah, Mel Tucker got in trouble, and then he lied. Period. And then he hired lawyers to lie for him as well. That's just so freaking juvenile. Just major implosion at Michigan State University with its football program. Michigan, they're going to have their hands a little bit fuller at Nebraska than they had at home against Rutgers. But I still think the Wolverines are going to win. Lions, it's a grudge match against the Packers, but the defense just has to keep stepping up. More pass breakups, more coverage in the secondary, more pass rushing, and everything. If they keep that up, they may have a shot at beating the Packers at Lambeau Field yet again. And yeah, the Tigers, it's about time they hired a general manager. Scott Harris, since Al Avila's firing, has took over the reins as the de facto general manager position while he's been team president. And he's still the team president, but finally got one. So that's another episode of the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast in the can, wrapped up in a bow present. Follow the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Michigan_Truth, and like its Facebook page. Subscribe to its YouTube channel at the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast, like I mentioned before. Like our videos and turn on all notifications on the bell icon. That's at the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast on YouTube. Also listen to it in audio form and follow it on Spreaker, Spreaker.com, and the Spreaker Podcast Player mobile app. Follow me on Twitter, that's Taylor Phillips. On Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, at DT2Phillips. Subscribe to me on YouTube at DT2Phillips. Also follow me on Twitch at DT2Phillips1984. Although Ed Smith was absent this week, follow him on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube at EdSmith313. Business shoutouts go to Athletical Physical Therapy on Woodward and Ferndale. Cali Tickets, 877-225-8425, or visit CaliTickets.com. Mark Goldman will hook you up with some tickets to whatever event you desire. Creative Embroidery of Cadillac for designing the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast logo on my long sleeve shirt and t-shirt. Very special thanks. Business shout out goes personally and business wise goes to Cuts by Melanie in Lake City for giving me my haircut. Melanie Rosted, thank you very much. Keep those coming. I may just raise my tip up a little bit more up on my next week on my next time up there, over there in Lake City. Let's roll with it. Rolled ice cream in Cadillac, now branded with the Food Mafia. Their flavor of the week, strawberry rhubarb. Got to check those out. I'm gonna get that soon. They are on the Food Mafia is on TikTok. Follow them at the Food Mafia LLC. Northern Star Event Rentals in Cadillac, 231-884-8195, and on Facebook. I believe bookings are now future-wise available for next year. And finally, Jim Lyons at United Food Service Solutions of Grand Ledge, Michigan. Until then, on behalf of Ed Smith, on his absence, this is Taylor Phillips, the creator of the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast. I'll talk to you next time. And remember, we observe and detect the truth about Michigan sports. Stay on the lookout, everyone.